Welcome to video number 5. In this particular video, this is a continuation of what we covered in the previous one. So be sure to go back and see the previous video because this will make a lot more sense with that previous video, and they're all stored on, these are all part of the Cool Do List series of videos, and again, captured these topics by the good graces of Alexi, where she got them out of her networking and lead generation group. So be sure to see the previous videos. And without further ado, let's jump into our continuation of the 4 ways to do free advertising for your salon and spa. So in the previous video, we talked about the overview and the directory and listing services and what my dad's dad meant by word of mouth. So be sure to take a peek at that. What we're going to dive into real quickly in this one is multimedia, and I'm going to go kind of quick because there's a lot to cover here. If there's enough interest, like if you want to leave comments and say, I'm pointing down, like put your comments below this video. If you have more interest in any one of these, let me know, and we'll do more videos on all of this. So when I talk about multimedia, for the top 3 things that I would recommend would be YouTube, SlideShare, and Buzzsprout. Use YouTube if you have an inclination towards video. So if you like to take video, both of yourself or anyone in your salon, definitely go with YouTube. It's, in case you're not aware, YouTube is owned by Google. So Google is like, they don't own the internet, but they're up there with Amazon in terms of massive uh, visitorship, so to say, on the internet. But YouTube is just a huge site. So even if you are not personally big on watching videos on YouTube, just be aware that I'll bet a huge portion of your customers do watch YouTube, and that could be a good conversation starters as people come in this week to your salon or spa. Just ask them, it's like, hey, on average, how much YouTube video do you watch? And I think you'll be amazed at what you hear. The next would be SlideShare. So if you or the people on your staff are not quite as big on video, because again, what I'm proposing here is advertising that you create yourself or someone on your staff takes care of it. So if you don't want to do video, then you can do pictures. Pictures, generally speaking, can be easier to manage. You can just encourage everybody on your staff to use their phone to get before and after pictures. Of course, you generally have to get permission, but I think it's a good way to engage with your customers. You get their pictures, and then you can tell a story through putting those pictures into either PowerPoint presentations, where you can use like what I use. I just use Google Drive, and if there's enough interest, I can do more videos on how to use Google Drive for free. To make your SlideShare presentations. The last thing I'm going to point out in the multimedia group is Buzzsprout. So Buzzsprout is about podcasts. Podcasts have kind of gone up and down over the last 5 to 10 years, but Apple has a big stake in the whole game. So meaning that Apple is big in the whole podcasting industry. So Buzzsprout just happens to be another one of the places where you can go. So if you don't like taking videos, if you don't like taking pictures, then but you do like talking, then you can use Buzzsprout to put your you can talk about anything from like how to manage hair extensions, like after or how to take care of your hair after it's been colored, how to essentially it's these how-to sort of things. You would do that on Buzzsprout, and I can certainly go into more depth on each of those. So if you have interest, definitely let me know. I'm happy to give more details on exactly how to use those multimedia bits. The next thing that I want to talk about is social media. So the at a certain level, all of these are social media, but when people think about the uh, quick quick ways or quick ways to do social media, they tend to think of these 4. So what I want to say first is that you need to be ready with the right mindset. When you have a Facebook or Pinterest and Instagram or a Twitter account, it's not enough just to post advertisements for your salon or spa. The whole mindset needs to be more like, what stories can you tell? What pictures can you share? What videos can you post to get the interest of people who have liked or followed you on Facebook and so on. So you want to put up stuff that people engage with, and even better, that they when they're engaging, they're not just saying, hey, that looks great, or thanks for posting my picture. Well, I guess that would be a good one. But what you really want are people to see the things that you post, and they love it so much that they share it with the people with their followers. And I'll talk just a little bit more about that. But again, don't think of these things as advertising. So it's a different world than advertising in Yellow Pages. It's a different world than having billboard or something crazy big like that. These are places where you're telling a story, and you're building your opportunity to share your brand. So I'll give a one quick example with Facebook, which is that when you build your Facebook site, you definitely want to have a lot of pictures of your salon and happy customers, especially before and after pictures. The more dramatic, the better. That's a great way to do it. So you're telling what you're about, who you are, your backstory, all that kind of thing. The human interest kind of thing. That's great for Facebook. Pinterest is awesome. Again, especially if you're big on pictures. So if you're doing things on SlideShare, then you would also want to be doing posting in parallel or almost at the same time on Pinterest. Um, and especially, or let me give just a slightly different angle to this whole thing. So the slightly different angle is whatever you do goes back to what we talked in the earlier on. It's thinking about what are the needs and wants of your customers. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about with the needs and wants, watch one of the previous videos and we go into that. But if the majority of your customers are already in, we'll say Pinterest, um, uh, lots of people are in Facebook, but if you know your audience by building relationships with your customers and just talking with them about social media, if you find out that you have a ton of customers that are on Pinterest, then definitely go there. Because if your customers are already there, and they literally like you. They like you and everybody in your business. Then start to get everybody contributing pictures into Pinterest, because you want to fish where the fish are. You want to go to try to post things that your customers will like, and then you can even coach your customers to go ahead and share what you've posted, because that kind of so that becomes an advertisement. You're getting a broader distribution for everything that you have. So the last thing I'll talk about is the secret sauce. And I have to go quickly with this because I know we're at the 8-minute mark, but real quickly, the secret sauce to all of this, no matter which piece of it that you're doing, the secret sauce is consistency, meaning that it really is something where you need to be posting daily. You could probably get away with every other day, but the farther you drift from that, the harder it is to see a reasonable return from all this. The other is involvement. And when I say involvement, again, it's involving your current customers, getting them again, you got to find out their needs and wants and desires, their dreams. And the more you involve them and you find out everything that they find engaging, the more people you talk to, chances are really good that the customers that you haven't yet brought into the shop will still have those same needs and wants. So you try to find ways to get pictures and videos and podcast, or just find ways to engage all the information that you're gathering from your existing customers. The last part that I'll talk about is getting guests. So it might be guest hosts, it might be guests from your salon. So I'll give an example with Pinterest. If you have a customer who's either very photogenic, meaning that they're attractive and they're willing to be in front of the customer, then definitely find a way to tell a story with that customer, either through before and after, like someone who's never had a perm. I guess that kind of sounds crazy, but somebody who's never had a perm, but they decide that they want to. So then you can show the whole progression of how they decided. You can tell the whole story of before the perm and after, and how excited they were once they got it. So that's one way to do it. Another guest could be, I won't say you wouldn't want to do this with a direct competitor because I don't think they would want to do it anyway. But if you can find somebody with, a business like yours, but at a whole quantum above it, somebody who's a much bigger player, ideally in a different area, because again, you don't want this head-to-head competition thing going on. But if you, if and I guess if you want ways to connect with people who are bigger players, let me know. Happy to give you ideas on how to connect. But if you have a salon in the Allentown area and you want to interview, get a guest from somebody who's a bigger player, we'll say in Maryland or Florida, there's really easy ways to find out who those big players are, and people love to tell their story. So you would interview, or somebody on your staff would interview people at that other bigger business and talk about how they got that business bigger. So that's one angle. Or you can do a guest interview with that bigger player and have them share about some of their before and after success stories. Because again, people in all of these social medias, they love the before and afters. They love the success stories. So anything that you can do with that human interest is a big secret sauce in all this social media. And it's great to kind of inject new blood into your social media by bringing in guests. And you could even do the same thing with, like I was talking about in the previous video with the advertising thing. You can bring in like if you do the ads with um, the pizza shop on one side, bring in the pizza shop owner and you can interview him or her or their whole staff, just to kind of get some guests to your blog and get some cross pollination between their Facebook following or their Pinterest following and yours, or the dry cleaner, bring in the dry cleaner staff, um, talk it up with them. I agree, it works better on YouTube and Buzzsprout than SlideShare. Pardon me. But yeah, so that's the story. I know we've gone really long video with this, but wanted to kind of get this all wrapped up before we go into the next video. So in the next one, we're going to be talking about the question regarding how to get your local site ranked in Google. I agree that ranking sites is really different than this, but it's one of the questions that came up in the networking group that Alexi has been working with. So we'll be back with answering that question in the next video. Any other questions or comments you have, post them below, and we will dig through these questions one by one. Thank you very much. Looking forward to talking with you again in the next vid.